Kick your shoes off, take a load off. Don't go nowhere till the show's off. Oh, you know it's gonna be a movie when you got Cletus Cassidy on your TV. Yeah, already know Mr. Funny Man. Coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Cletus Cassidy Show. Again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Cletus Cassidy Show.
Good morning. It's MONTUESDAY. It's Tuesday, but it's the first show of the week, so it's Monday. It's got a Monday feel. It's just one of those weird days. Welcome everybody to another edition of See You in the Morning. I am, of course, your host, Cletus Cassidy. If you're wondering what See You in the Morning is, it's my horrible idea to get up in the morning and just talk. This is the very epitome of a talk show. We ain't got no plans. We ain't got nothing going. We just get up here, just be like, you know what? Let me just talk about something real quick. And the something is always different. And by different, I mean usually really ridiculous. So I'm really excited to be here with y'all this morning, man. I'm excited for another day. If this is your first time hearing this, you're about to experience something so cold. If you watched this show before and you was like, you know what, I'll come back and watch it again. I appreciate you because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and that's amazing. I appreciate that. First and foremost, man, ain't a whole lot about this show structured. You know, it's a talk show. I get on here and I talk. There's not a lot of structure. The only thing that's structured is every day I get on here and I speak to the people that speak to me. If you decide that I'm worthy of you parting your fingers to say hello, then I the least I can do is I say hello back. If I didn't sleep with you, I'm gonna speak with you. Just weird, which is just a weird thing to say. That whole, you ain't sleep with me last night. So that's the only reason why I gotta speak. But that's a whole nother can of worms that we're not gonna get into. And the first three people that speak to me, I give them what I call the M&Ms, the mythical medals. It's just a way of you feeling like you've accomplished something, like you've been great in the morning. So there you go. The M&Ms, the morning mythical medals, the M cubes, the tri-M's, 3M. I give you a morning mythical medal. Anyway, this morning's bronze medal goes to Thomasia, Tamika, and Tamisia, and Tamika Riddick. All of those. Because depending on where you are in America, all three of those names are just her. The silver medal goes to Ida Seaborn. Ida, good morning. The gold medal goes to my good friend TT, Crystal TT, Tiny and Tasty Panel. Like I said, I don't know personally her taste, but I do know that she's a small, compact woman. She's a compact woman, real tiny. And so she looks like a little tasty treat. TT is what I call her. Tasty treat. TT, tiny and tasty. Wins the gold medal. Silver goes to Ida. Bronze is Tamisia, and Tamika. Also here this morning is Dolores, Kim Cat Thomas Jones, Shantina, good morning. Eminem, Emmy Time, Emmy Place, Michelle McKinney, Miss Lisa Hill, Melissa Kutha, Lynette, Pastor Shy is in the building, Delisa Bree, Keisha, my man Roy. Unfortunately, Griff is here, and that doesn't make me feel good inside at all. Lakeisha, Bom Dia to you as well. My man Snoop, the only professional bowler that I know, my man Larry Hales. Called him the other day. I had some professional bowling questions. That's right. I was in the house watching professional bowling. I had some questions. Called the one professional bowler I know, my man Larry. My man Q, Marquise Austin, not Marquise. Marquise. He's French. And the pride of North Carolina, Courtney Weston and Murphy. Thank y'all all for being here this morning. We finally gotten into winter. It happened suddenly. You wake up suddenly and winter's come. We started to get winter weather. It's funny how the seasons repeat themselves, how the seasons make their way to what they are. There's things that happen every winter. You start to see, you don't have to cut your grass anymore. Your grass is dead. What's up, Steve? Your grass dies every winter. The weather starts to change every winter, and the cowboy season ends disappointingly every winter. Those are things that are gonna happen every winter. When the seasons change, you're gonna have, gonna get cold outside. The trees are gonna get bare, and the Cowboys are gonna go home. Disappointingly. That's part of my weekend wrap up this week. I can't even. Let me be clear. Anybody that knows me, I had somebody yesterday ask me who is my team. Anybody who knows me knows that I am a fan of the Denver Broncos. Ride high with my Broncos. I'm probably the most honest Bronco fan you'll ever meet. I told people early, I said, hey man, we're a bad team. I know when it's a bad team. I know when I support a bad team, I'm all for it. Cowboy fans never know. Cowboy fans are in an abusive relationship, and they the only ones who don't know it. Cowboy fans are the woman that everybody sees your man cheating. Everybody. But you don't. You still talking about that's a good man. Oh, that's a solid man, faithful. That's Cowboy fans. There's no cowboy slander. All we doing today is cowboy truth. And every year, Cowboy fans wake up. Now, I will say this. There's not a fan base with more optimism than Cowboy fans. The optimism of a Cowboy fan is amazing. If they were to apply Cowboy optimism to the rest of their life, I believe that Cowboy fans would run the world. Those guys wake up every year. We own it. This is our year. Dak's gonna be great. Jerry knows what he's doing. We have got the best program. And every year in December, there's a disappointment. The winter comes, the weather changes, disappointment. Every year. I've watched it. I watched the Cowboys do the impossible this year. The Cowboys say to themselves, we are going undefeated at home. We're not going to lose a game at home. Dakota Dak playing at a level that Dak's never played at. He's swinging his hips in ways his hips have never swung. We got rid of Zeke. We don't need him. We got Tony Pollard now. We moved on. We're better. And here he goes. Dallas Cowboys yearly disappointment. But I give it to the Eagles. The Eagles said, don't worry, Cowboys. We're here too. We don't want you to be alone. Though thine art my enemy, I shall share thine couch with thee. Though you are the disappointment in Eagle land. And that fan base, the Eagle fan base, I don't understand the Eagle fan because the Eagle fan base is mean. The Eagle fan base is a mean fan base for no reason. They have a total of one Super Bowl victory in all of history. One Super Bowl victory. At least historically, the Cowboys were good. At least back in the early 20s, the Cowboys were an amazing franchise. The Eagles are a broken clock that was right twice a day. Eagle fans, a horrible group of people. If you tell me that you're an Eagle fan, I feel like you don't know Jesus at all. I feel like anytime somebody tells me, I say, what's your favorite team? And they say, I am an Eagles fan, I immediately want to offer you Jesus Christ. I really want you to get saved. I think people become Eagle fans just because of that. Lakeisha, if you don't want to hear sports talk, you can leave. You can come back tomorrow. Try it again. Told you I talk about what's happening. We're going sports this morning. We're talking sports first, and then I'll do my weekend recap. Cowboys and Eagles. It was easy seeing the Eagles lay eggs because that's what birds do. Eagles lay eggs because that's what birds do. But seeing a Cowboy lay an egg was rough. It was tough seeing Mike Tomlin, black coach, a stalwart in the African American community, a Pittsburgh Steelers coach for the last 47 years. To see him walk out. Crazy. See him walk out of a press conference in pain. Like he said, we don't pay our internet bill. I don't think any of y'all pay y'all internet bill anyway. I think there's a lot of people out there stealing internet. A lot of y'all owe y'all neighbors internet plans. So to see such proud franchises as the Steelers, Cowboys, Eagles, all lose in one weekend, it's amazing. It's a tough time. It's a tough time for many sports fans. Tough time. My weekend recap. Wintertime is here. It's starting to snow. People are playing for it. Courtney says she's still an Eagles fan. And I'm not asking you not to be one. You're supposed to still be an Eagles fan. You're not supposed to leave your team. You're supposed to be with your team. Here's the reality. Every year, 31 teams are going to fail to win the Super Bowl. You should still stick by your team. Stay with them. Don't mean the ugly realities can't be pointed out. Doesn't mean it can't be pointed out. Good morning, Fernina. Who did the Broncos play this morning? They played Group Uno, as far as I know. They were a horrible team. They were a horrible team from week one. The Broncos probably played Everybody Dance to Sierra's My Goodies. It happens. And I still support them. I was still out yesterday in the Bronco regalia. Still wore my jacket. Just got a brand new Bronco jersey. I'm all in. I'm a fan of my team. It happens. Now, today's not sports day. We started with sports. We're going to move on to something else because it's Tuesday. We just talk about stuff on Tuesday. If you like sports, you listen. If you don't, I got a new attitude. I was in D.C. for a day. I'm an Eagles fan today. I'm just going to be rude for no reason. Yeah, they probably played Uno. I don't know what they did. Amazing weekend this weekend, man. 2024 is a new year. So every year, I guess everybody has New Year resolutions or New Year resolutions. I call them resolutions because most people, they set resolutions they know they're not going to keep. I'm going to lose 40 pounds this year. You know you're not. You know you're not. You might lose 4. You may lose 4. I'm going to do better this year. I'm not going to spend money. I ain't going to do crack. Oh, no, Bama. Oh, yeah, you forgot. Snoop, I'm a huge Bama fan. Bama lost it. 16 national championships, just not one this year. And then it's okay. Sometimes you finna lose one. Sometimes you're going to lose one. Sometimes you're going to lose one. It happens. So sometimes we made these resolutions. So this year, I didn't make any resolutions, but I did try to adjust my focus. I think sometimes when we set these resolutions, we forget that it's going to take a whole lot of work to make the resolutions come true. Oh, yeah, shout outs to the Lions. Man, the Lions hadn't won a playoff game, I think, since, 1846? 1846, and so the Lions actually won the game. So shout outs to the Lions and both of the Lion fans in the world. Buffalo is just Buffalo. We all know that Buffalo, the most Buffalo can do is lose the Super Bowl on a last-minute kick. I'll talk sports another day, Snoop. I don't know about the new coach. We're trying to get younger. I guess every time, you had to go young. Nick Saban stayed there 17 years. You try to get a new coach that could be there 17 years. The man started from the bottom. Now he's here. He started from the bottom. Now he's here. So the thing about New Year's is you got to move in a way. Resolutions will never work. Even if you make resolutions, even if you say I'm not making resolutions, I'm trying to just be a better me. You got to start in a way. You can't have a good resolution without a change in your behavior. There's going to be a change in your behavior somewhere. And so that was me. I didn't want to make any resolutions, but I did come to grips with some things. I came to grips with some things about life. Life is finite. I've been living life like it was infinite. Nope, life is finite. And the hard part about life is you don't know when your last day is. You don't know where your last moment is, last minute. The saying used to be here today, gone tomorrow. And it is literally here today, gone today. Here today, gone today. And so you got to start embracing a lot of the parts of life. Now, there is a delicate balance between the embracing life and preparing for the future. That's what makes life, that's what makes adulting the worst. Adulting sucks. Because as an adult, you're responsible for your actions of today and the ripple effects of the future. As a kid, as a young kid especially, just live. Young kids just get to live. Just go out there, have a good time, enjoy life. You are developing yourself into who you are, but it's a lot easier. You don't see the ripple effects on you and generations on something that you did when you were 4. When you're 4, you got a chance to go back and change it all. You like, I was 4, I stuck my thumb when I was still 4 years old. You be like, that's nasty, but it was life. You meet a young lady who sucked her thumb till she was 8, and then you realize later on in life it was a blessing. We wanted her to stop sucking the thumb, but we realized later on why she can always keep a man. But as an adult, we live this delicate balance. You live this balance between knowing I'm not going to be here infinitely. My time is finite. Do I spend my whole check? Do I spend my whole check? Just live? No, I can't spend my check because I still got bills I got to pay. There's a delicate balance. You want to live it up, but you want to know that you got to continue to live. You want to live it up. How do you manage the balance living it up with living long? It's a difficult time. Adulthood, worst neighborhood out there. Worst hood out there. I give it 0 stars on Zillow. Adulthood, the worst hood ever. So I didn't make a resolution this year. I just decided to myself, I need to embrace life. And I need to start being what other people see in me, right? That's just a me thing. I gotta get to be who other people see. And that's a difficult thing. Remember, you are the only person you will never, ever see. Nobody ever looks at themselves. You get to see a reflection of yourself, but a reflection is not the actual thing. You never get to look at you. So you never know what you look like. You never see you. There are people who are going to see your potential, who you are, all these things, and you'll never get to see it. All you get to do is get to live up to it and try to be the best reflection that you could possibly be. How good of a reflection am I going to be? Every year I'm going to stop cussing. I fail miserably. Yeah. Let us cuss. Let it go. Flim, flam, filth. All over the place. Throw it around. So I realized life is finite. So I just like, let me get more dedicated to some things. And I think that when I made that decision, when I was like, let me try to focus a little better on doing what I need to do in my career, my personal life, all those things started falling into place. So this weekend, part of my weekend recap is I don't think I've ever had my own weekend at a comedy club. I don't think I've always had days. If you go to any club, I've been to clubs, I've had days. I've had days at Virginia Beach Funny Bone, a day at the Richmond Funny Bone. I've had days all over the country. It's been my day at clubs. I got the DC Comedy Law coming up March 3rd. I got a day. March 3rd. That's my day. I've always had days. This weekend was my first weekend where you could come and see me multiple shows. My own. I've been on multiple show weekends with people. Most recently, I think, was my Ali Sadiq weekend. This weekend was my first weekend this was my weekend. I was at the House of Comedy and Jazz in Landover. I told them people over and over again, I didn't know where I was at. That's one of the things about being a traveling comedian. You have no idea where you are. So I was somewhere in Maryland. I think I stayed in Carrollton. I drove through Landover. I stayed in Lanham. It was one of those weird areas of Maryland. But then I was also in DC at the same time. It was a lot. Like normally I could just check my weather and the weather will tell me where I am. And the weather was like, look, man, just pick a place. It was crazy. I was in New Carrollton, Old Carrollton. There was a lot happening. It was my first comedy weekend, man, at this place called the House of Comedy and Jazz. Black owned, and they only. Yeah, I've been to the Pittsburgh Improv, Cindy. Been there with Kev on stage, actually. And it was a wonderful time. Wonderful time. Some great people I met out there, man. It was my first weekend. And let me tell y'all something. If I can be honest for just one moment, it's nerve-wracking. When you the headliner for the weekend, nerve-wracking. Your nerves are racked because this is what'll break down your self-esteem in ways that your self-esteem ain't never been broken down before. I can't even lie to you. If you ever want to know that your self-esteem, because all those tickets is on you. If them people show up, they showed up because they wanted to see you. If don't nobody show up, it's because ain't nobody want to see you. So you got to walk a delicate balance. Your self-esteem is on the line. How do I feel about me? What does it say if don't nobody show up? And that's exactly how I went in there on Friday. I went in there on Friday, honest to God, felt like ain't nobody going to be here. I walked in there Friday, I said, man, ain't nobody finna show up. These folk out here in this strange land, ain't nobody coming to see me. I immediately changed my own name to Otis. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. That's immediately what happened. Man, the devil be putting that fear in your ear. I mean, I don't know if it's a devil. Maybe it's just real life. But I immediately felt like, man, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. And I was shocked. Each show, the first show on that Friday, I was reassured. There was some gentlemen in, it was a group of 4 that was like, hey, man, we saw you in Orlando. We saw you in Orlando. And from that point on, we was following you. And we said, anytime we see you near, we coming. They had saw me in Orlando, and they decided we got to see you. Anywhere you at, we coming. And I was like, that's what's up. That's what's up. And they were there. They had a whole table full of folk. It was a good time. And each show, as it filled up, each show, I was happy. And then came Saturday night. Oh boy. When you start feeling yourself, boy, when you get that in your system that makes you start feeling yourself, boy, then you're gonna have a Saturday night moment. Man, Friday night, packed. Saturday, first show, full up. Sunday, sold out. Saturday, people had options. Man, people had options on Saturday night. That Saturday 9 o'clock show, people had things to do. And those things to do was not come to my show. Man, for a while, I thought we had sold 0 tickets. I was like, this is embarrassing. I was like, man, this is embarrassing, man. It won't just rain in Georgia. It was snowing in the DC region. I was like, oh, I know I ain't getting no blacks. It was cold and snowy. Wigs were in jeopardy. I was like, I know ain't nobody coming. Saturday night, listen, I sat over there in the little VIP area, lonely. I'm so lonely. Then a few people trickled in, and I was able to enjoy those few people, and I worked way too hard for them. The people that came to that Saturday night show, the Saturday night show to me, I'm gonna tell y'all, this is just me telling y'all comedy stuff, just giving y'all the inside on comedy, the stuff that Cat Williams didn't give you. This is just like the work side. I did each night I was required to do about an hour of time. Now, if y'all don't know about an hour of comedy, that's an HBO special. Matter of fact, I want y'all to look at it this way. Because people always ask me to come and do events and they want me to do ridiculous amounts of time. They be like, we just want you to do an hour. So I want y'all to be very clear on what it is. 30 minutes is a Comedy Central special. When you turn into a special on Comedy Central, it's usually 30 minutes. Really, it's 22 because they might have commercials in there. So really, it's 22 minutes of work. 30 minutes is it. When a movie drops, when they drop a special, go look at all of them. Dave Chappelle's is there. That was an hour. Kevin Hart, hour. All these big ones. Raw, Eddie Murphy's Raw, hour. Those specials are an hour. So when you start doing an hour, you're doing a whole HBO movie. I'm giving you a movie every time. It's a long time. People don't believe it's a long time. Go talk to yourself for an hour. You go in your bathroom right now and talk to you for an hour and keep yourself entertained. You can't do it. 9 out of 10 times you can't do it. An hour is long. When I say you with his wife, your wife, I know your wife. Your wife don't want an hour. It's too much. So on Friday and Saturday were labeled as clean shows. So Friday and Saturday, I did an hour of comedy each night. You know, of course, it was switched up every night. Sunday, I came back with a whole new hour. So technically, I did 2-hour specials while I was up there. It's crazy. It's crazy talk. I hit it I was professional. But you got to be prepared for anything. You got to be prepared for anything. For example, my show started at 7. I had an amazing host, a guy by the name of Stacy Carver. If you get a chance to check Stacy out, y'all check him out. He's up in Baltimore. He's from Baltimore. He lives in Baltimore, which apparently was also just 30 minutes from where I was at. So he was in Baltimore. So he came. He was hosting. So Stacy did 30 minutes of hosting before I would get up, which gave us the whole hour and a half show. It was just a 2-man show. I'm telling y'all the little things that comics do that help them, because everybody can't get up and do an hour. They can't. Everybody can't get up. 45 minutes might be their max. So you start seeing where they have a host. You'll have a host. You start having feature acts, all of that kind of stuff, so that they fill out the time. Because a good amount of time is an hour and a half. Because you got to remember, the comedy club ain't about the comedy. Comedy club is about selling drinks and getting out food. That's just a reality of what we got going on there. When you go to a comedy club, that comedy club is not about the comedy. The comedy is the last thing they want. Comedy is the last thing people are there. The club is not there. The club could care less about the comedy. They don't care about the comedians. They don't care if you're a good comedian or a bad comedian. Can you put butts in the seats? If you can put butts in the seats, we'll book you. So they book you regardless of whether you're quote unquote good or bad. Comedy clubs are not there for the comedy. If they were there for the comedy, they would be developing newer comedians and bringing comedians up. They don't care. If you're not established, you can't put butts in those seats. They don't care. Because they got to sell alcohol and food. I was in Maryland. They had a 2-item minimum. You had to come get 2 items. Off the top. Come get these items. Come get these 2 items. It was a 2-item minimum. Off the top. And Lakeisha, y'all talking about hours a long time. And now y'all ladies, y'all don't know what y'all want. Do you want 3 minutes or do you want an hour? What's the 30? 30 minutes? That's what y'all want? Y'all want what y'all want? Y'all want Comedy Central or HBO? Y'all got to tell your man off the top. Hey, I'm a Comedy Central girl. I'm an HBO girl. Or are you a real? Ladies, what do you want? Ladies, do you want a real, you know, real love? Because what's a real? A minute and a half, 2 minutes? And then you got Comedy Central, and then you got HBO. I think these reels is what people got because everybody ain't got no attention span no more. Mary J. Blige said, "I want a real love. Give them a real." Gas stations ain't there for the gas. That's what they make the least money on. Gas station make all their money on you coming in buying chips and Slurpees. So I had an experience. Every club's gonna be different. The experience is different. So you gotta extend it out for an hour and a half so that they got enough time to get you liquored up so that you can buy plenty of drinks, buy plenty of food. Then you got to be able to pay for it. All of this within the show parameters. You got to do all that within the parameters of the show time. That's how it works. Me personally, I had something happen to me that has never happened before. My host did his 30 minutes. I got into my show. I'm about 15 minutes into my show, and people come in late. Now, they usually 45 minutes late. No. But when you start doing comedy, especially for the blacks, you're used to people showing up late. I had the show today, one of the nights, I think it was Saturday, and I'm up there and I'm working. Oh, I'm working. And suddenly I see some people come in late. 3 people come in late in the middle of my set. That's super late. You 45 minutes late for the show. The club not gonna tell you no, because you got to come in and get your 2 items. They got money. They even bought tickets, and I think tickets were $25. So those 3 people, that's $75 you put in, and each of y'all gonna have to get 2 items. That's at least another 100. That's $200 we letting in. Come on in here, $200. To my chagrin, they moved them and sat them in the front, right up front. And those 3 were complete Mexicans. I'm talking about Andre, Riba, complete Mexicans. They didn't even speak English. I have never had anybody come to my show that I knew couldn't speak English. And I knew they couldn't speak English because all they did, they was like the penguins in Madagascar. They just smiled and waved. That's all they did the whole time. And I know I was stereotypical, but I said, y'all come in here to get some Coronas? Smile and wave. They ain't understand a word I said. 5 minutes later, Coronas came to the table. I knew what was happening. I had never been in that position. So I talked about them for a long time. I knew they didn't speak English because I asked them, ¿Dónde está la biblioteca, Pedro? And one of the dudes, he hit me up. He told me he didn't know. No say. No say. I was like, oh. They here ducking immigration. They were like, we got to go somewhere where they won't expect us to be. They're like, we got to go somewhere they ain't expecting us to be. And they came into my comedy show. Top 5 weird moments for me in comedy. Top 5. I did a show one time for a group of Indians. I'm talking about your pharmacist, doctor Indians, not Native American Indians, like people from India, Indians. Top 5 weird moment for me. I didn't even know that they laughed. Every Indian I've ever seen, I've never seen them laugh before. I've seen Indians do a lot of things, never seen them laugh. I've seen them as doctors, as pharmacists, as restaurant owners. They've always been straight to the point. If you got a doctor, my Dr. Gupta. Dr. Gupta is my cardiologist. I don't care what I try to do, that man ain't gonna smile. There's no smiles from Dr. Gupta. Gupta's serious. He's a doctor. Want no smile. I didn't know that they laughed. And there was a whole room full of Indians. I've never been in that predicament before. I didn't know what to do. I started to have some self-doubt. So these people don't laugh. Started to have self-doubt. How can I tell them jokes? And I told them. And they enjoyed it. They had a great time. You were very good. It was great. Oh my gosh, you were very funny. I was amazed. If you ever want to test yourself as a comedian, do a room full of Jamaicans or Haitians. Haitians put the hate in Haitian. You go to a room full of Haitians, they will put the hate in Haitian. Haitians hate. They sit through your whole show stone-faced. That's the sign you get from them the whole time. Jamaicans, they don't laugh. Laughter is a sign of weakness in Jamaica. In Jamaica, if you laugh, you can never be a drug lord. Nobody laughs in Jamaica. Haitian, West Indian groups, they don't laugh. You up there doing the show, you sweating like a hoe in church. Hoes go to church. They don't even sweat no more. That used to be a phrase, but now hoes feel natural in church. We've made church comfortable for the hoe. That's been one thing I'm proud of with the church. We've made church hoe comfortable. It used to be hard being a hoe in church, but now it's hoe comfortable. It's good. It's good. It's a good place. It's married to the backslider. But you do the shows for the Jamaicans, those West Indians, Haitians, they ain't crack a smile the whole show. You get done. Boy, that was a good show, my man. Boy, I enjoyed every beat of it. No, you didn't. You didn't enjoy it. When did you win? At what point was the enjoyment point? Tell me where the enjoyment happened. Because you didn't smile. You didn't laugh at all. I had weird moments. At this show, just on Sunday. Maybe it was Saturday. I had somebody throw a cup at me. The man threw a cup at me as I was on stage. I retorted by telling him, you throw something else, I'm going to throw this speaker at you. I told him there was a speaker by the stage. I told him, I don't play fair. You throwing cups, I'm going to throw a speaker. I swear to God. Nobody care about laughing internally. You can't tell when anybody's laughing. When the last time you could tell somebody was bleeding internally? You can't tell. You don't know somebody's bleeding internally. They internal bleeding. You don't know what's happening. The same thing with internal laughter. Let it out. Bleed on the outside. Let your laughter be blood. Bleed on the outside. I had a man throw a cup at me during my show. He came and apologized at the end. He said him throwing the cup was the equivalent of Patti LaBelle throwing a shoe. He said, man, I threw the cup because what you said was so funny. I was like, that was your only reaction? That was the only way that you could react to me saying something funny was to throw a cup? That was a small plastic cup. And it couldn't get far. It went from like his seat to the next seat. So it wasn't an angry cup throw. But he was like, man, I love the joke so much, man. I just threw a cup. I was like, I don't know if that should catch on. But he came back at the end, man, took pictures with me, had a great time, told me about his whole career, how he had been working in the music business for 36 years. He traveled with Prince for 6 years, and he was like, he knows comedy. And I was like, so traveling with Prince means you know comedy? I don't know how that works. But he was another one of those people, and I don't know why. I want to ask, because some of y'all are probably in the crowd right now watching this show. I want to ask, this happens to me a lot. A lot of people go to comedy clubs, and there are people who don't laugh. He came to the show. He said it out his mouth. He said, man, I watch comedy, man. I go to comedy clubs and stuff. I see a lot of comedians. Most comedians don't make me laugh. Why are you still going? Why do y'all feel like I'm going to the show? I see it all the time. People come to me, man, hey, I normally don't laugh. Or it's hard to make me laugh. Or I don't laugh often. I usually don't laugh at comedians. Why are you at the comedy club? Who is forcing you to do something that you don't like? That's like me going to a Boys and Men concert. Be like, I don't normally like people to sing. Then what did you come to the concert for? You thought they were going to break out and dance? What are we doing? I intentionally don't go to stuff that I don't like. I intentionally go to stuff that I intentionally don't go to stuff that I don't like. I can't stand quartet music. I can't. I cannot take it. And there may be some quartet fans out here, people who love quartet. Might even be some people that sing quartet. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't stand it. Hate it. Can't stand it. It irks my every nerve. Quartet music is Norcom to me, Snoop. You're absolutely right. I don't go to places I don't want to be. Quartet music. I don't go. If somebody's like, what kind of concert is it? Quartet concert. Oh, I'm not going. I'm telling you that off the top. The only reason I end up at quartet concerts is because I'm being paid. If you see me at a quartet concert, there is a check involved. If I'm at a quartet concert, there's a check somewhere. There was a payola. I got paid to be there. I don't like it. Me no like it. Is a check involved or somebody is there that I'm supporting as a friend, but I'm telling you, I'm getting out of there as soon as I possibly can. Quartet makes my skin itch. I can't stand it. And I know they're trying to revitalize it and make it more like old school R&B. If we can't start all our quartet songs off with a ooh yeah, or something of that nature, I don't want to be there no more. I just don't. I'm not slandering quartets. There are people who love quartets. For example, it's not slander. There are people who don't like musicals. People be like, I can't stand a musical. I hate musicals. I'm not going to a musical. People who didn't go see Living Color, Color Purple, simply because it was a musical. I am people. I like the original Color Purple. I love it. I didn't want to go to a musical. First of all, I don't have that attention span. Music makes me sleepy. If I go to this thing, I know I'm going to sleep in Color Purple. An occasional song, I'm okay with. That's why I like Disney films. Disney films give you 77% talk, 23% song. I'm not big on musicals. But listen, not only do I love, there's always a conundrum. Not only do I like Hamilton, I love Hamilton. As I drove up to DC just this weekend, I listened to Hamilton in the car. I know every song. Love Hamilton. Not a huge fan of musicals. There are times in your life when things change. Something can be so great that you can't even deny but be a fan of it. Loved Hamilton. My daughter was in Seussical. I love Seussical. So let me be honest with you. My daughter was in musical theater at school. I think she did 6 years of plays. I enjoyed too. It was 4 years and I was just there. I ain't gonna lie to you. Some of them years, I was just there because that's my that's my obligation. I'm required as a parent. There was some years that happened. They did My Fair Lady. Knocked out. Not. I'm gonna be honest with you. I performed in a lot of gospel plays. Not a lot, but quite a few. Probably more than a handful. Not always a fan. I've watched a total of 0 Tyler Perry plays. I cannot tell you a Tyler Perry play I sat and watched from beginning to end. A total of 0. Just not a fan. But I don't understand why people come to comedy clubs and they tell you all the time, man, I don't normally laugh. Then why are you here? What were you expecting at the comedy? You can't tell me the wings at this comedy club are so good that you paid an admission fee to eat the wings. I don't believe you. Now I dislike gospel plays and chitlin circuit plays. So let me be the first to defend the chitlin circuit. I'm gonna do it. I'm defending the chitlin circuit. People, that has been used as an insult towards me on numerous times. It's 2 insults that I wish black people would get over using. First of all, the insult Uncle Tom. Because if you're a black person, you call another black person Uncle Tom, I immediately know that you didn't read the book. I immediately know you didn't read the book. If you call another black person Uncle Tom, I know you never read the book. If you read the book, you would understand Uncle Tom was the good guy. He saved. He gave his own life to protect the others. So what are you talking about? When you call somebody Uncle Tom, now you call him Uncle Ruckus, different story. Uncle Ruckus didn't come around till recently. I hate when black people use Uncle Tom because that tells me that you just using something without even knowing what you're using it for. Jim Bob, Tom is Sam, whatever. He's an Uncle Tom. Really? Well, congratulations. Congratulations, good job for him. No, man, he's an Uncle Tom. I'm like, all right, that's a good thing because I've actually read the book. All right, Snoop, go get that money. Go get that money from the city, man. That you out there letting people free. I ain't gonna tell everybody you was on the jury, but you've been telling people. You gotta be. I know they don't watch it. And then when people talk about the chitlin circuit, you ain't nothing but a chitlin circuit comedian. And I've gotten through that now because I've done enough arenas and tours. But the chitlin circuit was never a negative thing. The chitlin circuit was something that black people had to do in order for them to be seen. Black people were not able to, frigid Texas, what is it, 60? Black people weren't able to go into the mainstream white clubs. You got to remember during segregation and coming right out of slavery and all those times, black people were not allowed to perform at your major venues. You couldn't look how long it was before they allowed Ray Charles to perform in Georgia, the place he was born in. Y'all think Georgia on My Mind was a song he wrote because of happiness? He wrote that song because he was sad. I couldn't even perform in Georgia, state I was born and raised in. Georgia. So we had to perform on the chitlin circuit. So for you to tell a performer that you're nothing but a chitlin circuit artist, I'm okay with that. Because I know the pain and struggle. I know why the chitlin circuit existed. I know how it affected our black artists in the day. You were able to see artists that you weren't going to be able to see any other time because they couldn't get into the mainstream. They had to have a chitlin circuit. It was a place for black people to see each other in the South. You weren't paid in chitlins. That would be weird. They didn't serve chitlins at the show, which would be even weirder. But I think delicious. But it would just make the arena smell funny. If I came to an arena and it was free chitlin night, I'm pretty sure I probably wouldn't perform. I wouldn't perform on free chitlin night. Free chitlin night is rough. But that was my weekend in review, man. Good week. I did get out yesterday. Would have been the 93rd birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a man who really was transformative in American history. I saw something the other day, man. It really made me upset. I'm a part of my dad performed on the Chitlin Circuit. It's a great circuit. I prefer the Chitlin Circuit over Circuit City. Circuit City closed. The Chitlin Circuit remains. I'm a part of a group on Facebook, and Facebook groups are amazing because a lot of times people get in there and they say how they really feel. And if you can get in some for your city, whatever city you live in, you start finding out how people really feel. Like the neighborhood app, I don't know if any of y'all had that app. The neighborhood app exposes all the racists in your neighborhood. They used to have that kind of stuff that you could identify all the sex offenders in your neighborhood. You can still do that. If you haven't done it recently, man, just go in to the sex offender registry, put your zip code in there. You're gonna be surprised some of the people you see. You be like, them too? What? It's crazy. The Nextdoor app, not neighborhood, Nextdoor. The Nextdoor app exposes all the races in your neighborhood because they are so keyboard bold. Racists are keyboard strong. Man, they'll type it fast. A racist, none of them people, it's blacks in my neighborhood. But you be like, what? They be having stuff, man, like it'll be kids walking to school Saw these strange kids walking through my neighborhood at 7:30 in the morning. They were going to school. You live next door to an elementary school. Everybody be careful. Everybody be careful. There's blacks walking. What? The next door app will tell all. It will tell you all the races are. And then if that's not enough for you, get into a Facebook group of your city or your neighborhood. Get into a Facebook group of your city or your neighborhood. When I tell you the racists come out there in droves, in droves. And so I'm on one for the city of Portsmouth. It is amazing. It is amazing the racism in that room, the pure ignorance. It's delightful because I see these people for who they really are. There was a man in there. There was a black guy. You could see he obviously had some kind of either mental or drug problem. He stole $3,000 worth of liquor out the liquor store. And he stole it in a way, first and foremost, I'm upset with the liquor store people because he should have been in jail immediately. He had, if you haven't seen the video, he had some jogging pants on and he had like 47,000 bottles of liquor in his junk. So, and he was walking, he sounded like Jingle Bells. Can you imagine all those glass bottles of liquor? If you got 2 glass bottles of liquor, if you got 2 bottles of liquor, it's going to make noise. He had about 47,000 bottles. He could barely walk. He looked like he had lymphedema on both his legs. So that means you was working and let him put all of them in there. You know they won't go in no cart. You heard the jingle jangle as he walked. Ain't nobody ever called the police. Let that man walk out. So they finally arrested him. Man, when I tell you, them people, he needs some years in prison. Years? That man was clearly had some issues. You want him going to jail for years. It's crazy. It's crazy. Ain't nobody called the police. They let that man put it in there. Now, I can understand that you at the ABC store, you don't have a lot of excitement coming in your day. You might have wanted to see where this goes. They said they making $14 an hour. It's above them. You probably just wanted to see how this goes. Let's see just how many he could put in there. After a while, I think it became a bet. But I was in this group the other day, and they began to argue. They hate everything. I mean, this group is racist. It's pure American racism. The purest form. Purest form of American racism. And they fuss about things that you would think there's no way anybody thinks this way. They hate immigration. Oh, immigration. Oh, they don't want anybody of any descent coming in here. They hate it. Then they ask these questions. They were like, you know, when black people post something in there, man, they will be angry. But the lady made a comment in the group, and they believed it wholeheartedly. She said, "Isn't America such a beautiful place where the only thing that you complain about is something that happened 400 years ago?" She really believes that America's only problem was slavery 400 years ago. I mean, this country's so great. We can only complain about something that happened 400 years ago. And somebody was like, man, they still killing black people now. I was like, do y'all not? What color do y'all have? Do y'all have black injustice glasses that you put on? You be like, these will filter out all those nasty black injustices. Look at the world going great. All you see is the black people that's doing good. Look at Charles, another fine Negro. Thank you, black injustice glasses. You look right past them. You want all the black people going to jail for hundreds of years, no matter what it is. Black man, jaywalk, put him in jail. He's part of society. We would bring up stuff that happened recently, and they were coming up with all kinds of. Well, they were like, look, the police killed these number of black people. Well, and then there was a guy. He felt like he was right too. He came in there hardcore. Well, black people killed a white child one day. That'll show ya. Crazy. The racism in that group is redunculous. I'm talking about redunculous. They tried to explain how Christopher Columbus go ahead and fill that patent. I'm gonna file it. They were trying to explain to people, listen, Christopher Columbus stole the country. The European settlers stole this country. Well, Indians were killing each other for land way before Europeans got here. So y'all just joined the party. Okay, cool. Didn't make it right then, I mean right now. This lady said, well, hypothetically, what if there was an unclaimed land filled with oil and resources, and there was some people living there? What do you think we would do now? I said, first of all, it can't be unclaimed if people live there. How it's been claimed by the people that live there. What are you talking about? Second of all, you're explaining what they do to Africa every day. If there was an unclaimed land, if you were unclaimed land that people were already living in, full of oil and other great oil, gold, diamonds, you're explaining Africa. And you're explaining exactly what is happening in Africa right now. There are people going over there looting. China is destroying Africa. China is getting everything they can. Now, they're buying it up. They're not just going in there doing forceful takeovers no more. They're buying it up. But they are looting and pillaging the natural resources of Africa. Looting and pillaging. Go get in one of your local city groups. The racism you'll see in those groups will astound you. Will astound you. A friend of mine posted a picture of Martin Luther King in the backseat of a police car, visibly handcuffed, and they had put a dog in the backseat of the car to intimidate Martin Luther King. And even though the picture was clear as day, you had people in there that the dog was back there as a comfort dog. There's no evidence that that dog was violent. Did you see the 60s? The German Shepherds in the 60s were trained to be they put the German in German Shepherd. You thought they put an emotional support German Shepherd in the car with Martin Luther King? I mean, she was arguing that this has not been proven to be true. We know it's been proven to be true. Martin Luther King took a slug at 39 years old, standing on a hotel balcony because of his ideals. That is true. And it's not that long ago. That was not 400 years ago. As much as you may want people to believe it, as much as racists want us to believe it, there are still people alive right now that saw King get killed. Alive today. That ain't 400 years. There are still injustices that we are dealing with right now. But hey, man, who is me to judge? All I'm saying is get out there and check your local neighborhood races out. It'll change your mind. It'll change some of the places you go. It'll change the views of people who you thought were cool. There have been some people who I've seen up there have some real ideals that I was like, dog, I'm mad. I even shook your hand. I thought you was all right. Come to find out, not all right. Not all right at all. And here we go. And I apologize. Today's word of the day. It's time for the word of the day. Today's word of the day is bunkum. Today's word of the day is bunkum. B-U-N-K-U-M, bunkum. Bunkum is an old-fashioned and informal word that refers to foolish or insecure talk or ideas. I tell y'all every day, I do not look at the word of the day before I do my show. It just happens to fall in line. Today is bunkum. As usual, the politician let out a load of bunkum during his speech. Bunkum. Bunkum is an old-fashioned an informal word that refers to foolish or insincere talk or ideas. So if you want to see some bunkum, get that Nextdoor app. Get that Nextdoor app or go into your cities It'll be something different. Like you'll have, we used to have one here. I live in Portsmouth. People for Portsmouth, horribly racist. Portsmouth political pulse. Oh my God. And now I've seen one now, the Voices of Portsmouth. Join any of them. Your city got one. You probably got people for Chesapeake, lovers of New Jersey, like all of every city got a Facebook group. Go find that Facebook group. You'll get it. African American Cotton Pickers Day. That's some bunkum. That is some bunkum. The Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. Bunkum. I'm out, man. I'm out. Also, we can use bunkum if you don't want to cuss. Man, somebody get on your nerves, man. Bunkum. I'm out, man. I hope y'all have a fantastic day. You know, we missed on Monday. I didn't get to tell y'all that our Monday sets the mood for the whole week. But our Monday this week was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which should tell us it's a day of service, it's a day of reflection and helping us get back on track and telling us what's really important in life. So our Monday should have been great anyway. We off work. You got to participate in the march. I went to Norfolk. I marched for 2 blocks, and I realized I wasn't made for the civil rights era. I did a 2-block Martin Luther King march. And I was like, no, because they did this in hard bottoms. So more power to them. I know the corns on Martin Luther King's feet. That had to be what he had to do during the week. He had to get that pedicure because there ain't no way. Not in them Stacy's. You marched to Selma and Stacy's. You ain't had no comfort, no doctor shows for marches, nothing. But that is what it is. So your Monday was great. Today is Tuesday, man. We usually talk about it on Tuesdays, and we did. Just real random. We got to be out here, man. Have an amazing day today. Go out there, have an amazing day today. Make somebody feel good, even if that somebody just happens to be you. And Lord willing, the creek don't rise. We'll be back tomorrow.
Kick your shoes off, take a load off. Don't go nowhere till the show's off. Oh, you know it's gonna be a movie when you got Clayton's Cassidy on your TV. Yeah, already know Mr. Funny Man. Yeah, coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Clayton's Cassidy Show. Funny Man, coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off